Hey everyone, it's Mike with It's Pittsfield Tonight. I'm going to jump right into it. And this video, I'm going to pick up on a topic I've been covering for the last couple weeks. And that is the ban on indoor dining for our Pittsfield restaurants. So we just started our third week on this ban. And what happened was Mayor Tyer, on the 13th, Friday the 13th, issued a ban and suspension on all indoor dining for Pittsfield restaurants. Now, this is not a statewide, this isn't issued from the governor, this isn't countywide, and in fact, out of the 351 communities in the state of Massachusetts, Pittsfield is the only one that has a ban at this time, a ban on indoor dining. And the reason for that, the governor was asked about it, the mayor of Boston, Mayor Walsh, was asked about it, many mayors and town leaders were asked about this, and they all said they had no intentions of putting a ban on indoor dining in their areas at all because the data and science was not showing that that was a spreader. Now, in Pittsfield, before this happened, we all know there was 2 local restaurants that are tied to this that broke the rules, that didn't do things right, and caused this. And everyone knows that. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone knows who they are. I was sent several pictures and the whole deal. And we're not getting the whole story. During the last city council meeting, I believe it was Councilor Mafuccio who was asking, how are we going to get updates from the Board of Health, from the mayor? What is happening? How are we enforcing rules and regulations? And our city council vice president, Pete White, who is a big supporter of Mayor Tyer, said, well, the mayor gives her weekly addresses and keeps everyone informed. Well, she doesn't, because for the month of November, she has given 1 weekly address. 1. So that's not true. She's not giving weekly addresses, and we're not hearing what's going on. And like most topics in the city of Pittsfield under this administration, there's very little communication. There's very little transparency. That's how it is. Seems to be that way on almost every topic. So it is this particular situation, it is crushing and devastating our local restaurants, because what's happening is all their customers are going to surrounding communities. You don't have to drive far. I mean, everything's close here. So they're going to Dalton, they're going to Lanesboro, they're going to Lenox, they're going to these other places, and they're still going to indoor dining. So it's not stopping anything. We're not seeing an increase in numbers related to that, so you wouldn't have seen it here. The outbreak that we're seeing is in the nursing homes, which is very sad. And if you look at what's happening in Lenox with Kimball Farms and Tri-Town Health's Jim Willis, he said himself, we're trying to get this under control. We're working diligently on this. And if we see an uptick in numbers, more cases in the area, we might have to roll back a phase, but they had no intentions of banning indoor dining. And that's not him speaking from emotion. That's a smart guy looking at data and science. And I think our restaurant owners in Pittsfield, that's all they're asking for. So I had the pleasure to meet and speak with several of our restaurant owners. I'm going to be doing interviews with them in series of 3 at a time. So today in this video, I was able to sit down with 3 of our Pittsfield restaurant owners and talk to them about how this has affected them and what's going on and what they're asking for. So let's just jump right to those.
Good afternoon. My name is Craig Benoit. I'm the owner of the Hot Dog Ranch on West Rusitania Street in Pittsfield. Today, I'm here with a couple of the restaurant owners. We want to just discuss and get our opinions out about what this ban has done to our businesses in the city of Pittsfield. We all know and we're all concerned about the virus. We consider it very serious. But as we've gone along, we've complied by all the state guidance and rules and the city guidelines and rules, and we feel that we should not be shut down for a few bad apples, and we should be given the right to prove ourselves. I mean, we've had no infractions, we've had no cases. If we need to get some guidelines. So if we do have a customer who comes in and he tests COVID, what do we do? Or we have an employee who tests COVID, what do we do? I know the mayor was considering that the restaurants were very a big high spreader of the disease. So I sent a letter to the mayor, and my response from the mayor was, and I quote, Pittsfield continues to see an increase in the number of COVID-19 cases. These cases have been directly attributed to large get-togethers in restaurants and large indoor parties held at private homes attended by individuals from multiple households. Well, I feel the second part of that statement is not our responsibility. I mean, our responsibility is our restaurants. And we're doing what we do to keep everybody safe. We do everything clean. Our tables are socially distanced. Everything that they've told us to do. When we went to indoor dining and bar seating, I called Andy Canby at the Board of Health, and he came down, and I said, I need to know what we need to do in order to make this right. And he showed me, and we made the changes that he did, and I'm following their strict guidelines. So as of today, no one in my restaurant and nobody in my customer restaurant that I know of has had COVID. And that brings us down to my employees. I've had to lay off or cut hours for 22 of my employees, who, being that you can go to any other restaurant in the county, you can go to Lee, Lenox, North Adams, Williamstown, you can go over the border in New York. These people make fine jobs in these restaurants, and now I might not have employees to reopen again. I just think it's a hard financial burden that's been placed on our restaurants in this city. I've gotten together with a few. I'm trying to start a little coalition of the restaurants so we're all on the same page and we all know what we're going to do. I've contacted some. If anybody else needs to contact me, you can call me at the Hot Dog Ranch, and I'll be more than happy to show you what we're trying to do and trying to present to the mayor. We went through this in March, in April, in May, and with these dining rooms or these other restaurants being open, my takeout sales are down 33% compared to that time. People have another option. Before they didn't have an option, we were all in the same playing field. But now they have that option to go elsewhere, and they're going to go. And honestly, if anybody thinks that the residents of the city of Pittsfield aren't going to go dining in these other communities, then they're sadly mistaken. I've seen my customers at a lot of places. I've gone to a few places to see if my customers were there. And I don't begrudge any of the other restaurants in Lee and Lenox. God, good for them, they're getting the business. But we just want a fair and equal playing field. And we need to know how we can get that. What is the data that's used? What are the numbers that they're using? And why, and like in this letter, why is the mayor's putting half of the burden on this on private parties, which we have no adjusting or no control over. And it's just, we just want to have a fair and even policy of how we can get our restaurants open again. And in this letter, she also stated that we can do takeout, delivery, and outdoor dining. Well, it is December, it is Massachusetts, and there's nobody doing outdoor dining. And as a businessman, I had a business plan, and I had a four-legged business plan. One is I have takeout, 2 I have indoor dining, 3 I have alcohol sales, and 4 I have lottery sales. Well, what she's done is she's taken 3 legs. She's taken 3 legs out of my equation, out of my business plan, and left with me 1. And I'll equate that as going home to your kitchen table, cut your 3 legs off your kitchen table. Yeah, it might be able to stand up for a little bit, but sooner or later it's going to collapse. And not being on a even playing field with the rest of the restaurants, not even the county, in the state, and even New York, I feel we put at a serious disadvantage. So my request to the mayor is, please, let's reconsider this. Let's meet. I'll be more than happy to meet you Monday, and we can discuss our problems, and we can bring the Board of Health, and let's see if we can rectify the situation. You got to remember now, we've built our business on the last 2 weeks in November and through the holiday season to carry us through January and February and into March. Those are our worst times. And not only that, a lot of my businesses, like mine and other restaurants, we have minimum wage employees. Minimum wage is going to take an increase on the first of the year. And I provide jobs for school kids. They give them something, they learn, they get stuff from this. But now I can't. I've had to lay them off or tell them they can only work 1 day a week. Basically what we want is we want some answers when we can open up our establishment. And that's what we're here for today. I mean, you'll hear from other restaurant owners in a few minutes, but this is what we're here. We want to have a date. Tell us a day we can open. I mean, when you shut us down when you shut us down, we got the email. I got the email at 5 after 5 on Thursday afternoon, and you gave us 7-hour notice that we had to shut our restaurant down. I had a $4,000 food order that was coming the next day that I couldn't cancel. What do we do with stuff like that? I mean, there's no notice, there's no nothing. Even the governor, when you decided to close us down in March, he gave us a 6-day window. We just want to talk. We want to find out what your ideas are. We need to know when we got to help this struggling business in our city, because we won't have any more. We won't have any more mom and pops. We won't have any of that. We'll just have big box chains. We'll have restaurant chains. We're not going to have the local people. For myself, I help sponsor Little League, Babe Ruth, high school sports, soccer, basketball, baseball. Anybody that comes for a donation for me, I provide. And so do my fellow restaurant employees, or restaurant owners. Where is all that going to come from? Nobody, I don't think anybody considers the direct down effect that this has, the trickle down effect that this happens in our city. So hopefully we can get together with the mayor, Mayor Tyer. I'd be more than happy to come and talk to you. You just tell me when. I'll bring, whatever I got, and then let's just discuss it. Let's just not make it an open, broad statement. Let's discuss it and see what we can do to correct the problem. I'm going to thank you for your time in advance.
Okay, my name's Dan Kelly. I'm the owner of Kelly's Diner, which has been here since 1962, started by my grandfather. And there's been a diner there actually since 1932, formerly Steamer's Diner. A long history of diners on this corner of Allendale and Coatesville corners. We've been known for a great industry here in Pittsfield and serving the food for all the Sawmill and GE and everybody else, how we've watched all the businesses come and go. We're here to talk about the corona effect that the mayor put on us for shutting down just the restaurants in Pittsfield, and what kind of toll it's taken. And as the owner, I totally understand the seriousness of corona. We all take the risk every day when we walk out our door that we know we all have to take when we come into the world, and we've met all the health requirements of the city that they've asked us to do there in the health department to comply with the COVID restrictions. But the unfairness is what we're here gathering with other restaurant owners about, because of the unfairness of us just being singled out and closed down over a few cases and situations, and the losses, the employees that have to be laid off, losing most of our staff to lay off again, and the things that we've been up against with COVID, trying to survive and watching our livelihoods and our employees' livelihoods and families suffer over this. So we're just asking for an equal, even playing field. We rub shoulders with people every day in the supermarkets, gas stations, wherever you go. You're going to rub shoulders with people in gymnasiums. All of us want to have our life. We want to have a right to live. We are respectful of the people and the disease, knowing it's serious. We don't want to see anybody get sick. We want to make sure all of us are clear on that. Our goal is not to see anyone. We don't want to see anyone get ill from this. So we just want to ask for some, to please reconsider what you're doing to us. This is our most busiest time of year, where we try to stock up our money for the winter to make it through the harsh winters we have here in Massachusetts. And this is that time of year when we do make our income, our tips, and whatever we need to pay all our tax bills to the city and all the employees and Christmas bonuses and everything we have to chop out for people. We are grateful that the mayor put out the $5,000 for us to get for the loan, but I've had to hire an accountant to try to go through all the paperwork and ordeal to put this together, and I finally realized in the end, after paying the money to try to apply for the $5,000, that I was 44.4%. Not enough. I didn't make the 50% mark, which it was another unfair thing. So we are grateful that you offered it, but it was in a different sense. We didn't think it was going to come. So most of us aren't even going to be able to apply for the $5,000, which would carry us very little, but we're grateful for it. We know the first wave of Corona wiped us out completely with most of us small business owners, and we are thankful for that first PPP loan that we did receive. It got us back on our feet and kept most of us from able to shut the doors, but now it looks like we're going right back down the same road, and we want to just ask to be on an equal playing field with all the other businesses in Berkshire County. We know the chain restaurants and the big corporate stuff will survive, but the smaller mom and pop and family businesses, like all of us are here today gathered to ask to protect, are really going to suffer, and we're going to lose a lot of employees and already have lost employees. I know I've had employees, one 50 years, some 40 years, and then down into the 30 years and 20 years, and it's a shame to have to let everybody go and see all this come to an end. So we just ask you to please reconsider, from the mayor to the city council to all the people that are looking at this. And you can reach out to me anytime at Kelly's Diner, Dan Kelly, if you want to ask me any questions about this. Thank you so much for your time. God bless you.
Good afternoon, I'm Mike Wendling. I'm the owner of O'Loughlin's Pub in Pittsfield. I'm here today with some other restaurant owners talking about the closing of the Pittsfield restaurants. I'd like to just kind of touch base on one thing that's really bothered me about the closing of the restaurants. It's my opinion that the whole city is shut down. All the restaurants in Pittsfield are shut down because of a couple bad eggs, I want to say. Something happened, there was some violations, whatever the case may be. One or two restaurants in the whole city, that I don't know how many there are, there's probably 40. And I feel that we are being punished for the actions of two other restaurants, let's say. Now, if something happened at O'Loughlin's and I violated the rules, I would expect to be fined, shut down, or whatever, but I would not expect the whole city to get shut down for something that I did wrong. And that's where we're at right now. I'm a small Irish pub in Pittsfield, Mass. I employ 9 people, and I had to close. Takeout, for me, is not cost effective. There's no profit in takeout for my business. When the coronavirus first came out, we were kind of locked down. I closed for 5 weeks then. I tried takeout, it didn't work. Laid off all my employees, brought them back when they said we could do outdoor dining. In order for me to do outdoor dining, I spent a lot of money. I ripped up part of my parking lot. I invested in putting down grass, building fences, outdoor furniture. All that wasn't free. So I took any profit or any money I had in my kitty and invested it into outdoor dining. It got me through the summer. It did. And I didn't know what I was going to do when the winter came, because we live in the Berkshires. But I thought I could get through. I figured I could get through with the indoor dining. And then a couple weeks ago, I order all my food, all my alcohol, all my product, and on Thursday night, I'm told you can't be open anymore for indoor dining. So we're beat. It's very confusing to me. Everyone I talk to in the industry, they can't figure it out. We'd just like to get some answers, some solid, concrete answers on what the thought process is here. Again, I'm on Merrill Road, so my regular customers, Dalton is a mile away. Lanesboro, 2 miles up the road. All my customers, they're still going out to dinner. They're not staying home. They're not ordering takeout when they can go a couple miles up the road and go have a meal and a drink and see their friends. That's not happening. What's happening is you're crippling the restaurant industry in Pittsfield by doing this. It's the only city, town, village, hamlet in the state that this is happening to. And there's got to be a better reason than the reason that's out there right now. Thank you.
Well, a big thank you to Craig, to Mike, to Dan for allowing me to sit down with them and talk with them. You know, I'll say this as a side note. I know since I've been doing this, a lot of business owners or people in the community, you know, I'd run into them all the time and say, Mike, I love what you do and everything. I can't like your stuff openly because I don't want any backlash from the city or anything like that. So, I mean, it kills me. It's gut-wrenching to hear that. So I was very happy and thrilled to be able to sit down with them. My intention is not to vilify people for no reason. That's not what's going on here. We need transparency. We need communication. We need an open and responsive local government. And in a time like this, when I'm watching so many friends of mine that are in the restaurant industry and, you know, friends of mine, well, I myself am a customer of all these places. So it's killing all of us, but to watch our community members and our neighbors being put out of work like this, and to think that these restaurants might not be there, and you know, hearing the rumors floating around of, we all know where this started, two places, And we all know that. The story's everywhere. Everyone's been talking about it. So it's no secret. We just haven't heard any official communication from the city on it. But I was thrilled to be able to sit down with them. I was thrilled with the other restaurant owners I've been speaking to. And if you own a restaurant and I haven't spoke to you, contact me. They are asking, Craig has put together a little association. He's putting all the restaurant owners together. Please reach out to him. You can reach him easily through the Hot Dog Ranch. And they have over 20 local restaurant owners now, and they're asking the mayor to please talk with them. How can we come to a resolution on this? Let's be logical about this. Pittsfield cannot continue to be the only community in the state under this suspension right now. They can't, because if this was a statewide ban and if the governor in the future had to do that, that would make sense, because the governor could also sign a financial assistance program and make sure that the businesses will survive. That's not what's happening here. And the $5,000 that's been offered, I'm sure you heard that in the interviews. That's not as easy as they're making it sound. So I encourage Mayor Tyer, please sit down with them. Please be open and transparent and communicate. Be a public servant, please. So again, if you're a restaurant owner, reach out to me. I'd love to sit down and do an interview with you. Reach out to Craig. Please be part of this. Please come together. This is a time for all the restaurant owners to unite, and us as a community unite around our business owners, because these are our neighbors that work there, our friends, people we know, places we go ourselves. So that is it for now. Everyone, please stay safe, wear your mask, do everything the right way, and we're close to getting out of this. Hopefully there's light at the end of the tunnel, and we're only a few months away. So thank you again to all the restaurant owners that I've spoke to. Thank you to Craig and Dan and Mike again for sitting down with me. And I will catch y'all on tomorrow, Monday.